Have you started?
Okay, go ahead.
Well, you confuse them so they don't know.
That's okay. It's okay. We're live now. Hi, everybody. Welcome to episode 3, Hobby and I. Well, I shouldn't be doing the talking because it's about my wife and her husband. So I'll let her welcome everyone.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Hubby, and I with the Sonnies. We are on vacation still. We're actually going to be heading back to our city today, but we're so committed to the show, and we're committed to being a blessing to our audience that we just decided that we are still going to shoot. So we're still in our hotel room, and of course, our lovely girls are the ones that are our videographers. So
I'm going to get the door.
So that's housekeeping. You know how like when you haven't checked out yet, they still trying to like get you to get out, but we're not getting out yet. So we want to talk a little bit about, while we're waiting for people to sign on, we want to talk a little bit about our vacation so far. It's been a blessing. And the thing is, we wanted to share it with you because we feel that, so that you know that it's also part of love, marriage, and raising children, to take family out of our norm and go on vacation, no matter how small it is. You know, it doesn't have to be extravagant all the time. It can just be like our children, they are off school for 1 week. Spring break, it's called here in America, and I'm saying in America because we know we have viewers from all over the world. So in America, we have this 1 week break for the children called spring break, and they are on spring break. So we decided to bring them to the city of Houston, here still in Texas. We had an outstanding time.
Okay. I'm having trouble seeing who's there and who's commenting. I'm not sure what the problem is, but I'm used to using the computer for this. So I will let my wife do this. She's better at doing this than me.
Can we talk about our vacation?
Okay. The vacation has been fun. I've gotten the opportunity to bond a little more with my girls, and you know, all the girls in my life, my wife and my daughters. The oldest is right now training. She's in the Navy.
Hi, Gracie. We see you watching.
So Damilola, the oldest girl, she's in the Navy, so she's in Chicago, Illinois at this time.
Margarita Marquez is watching.
Okay, well, hello guys. So it's been fun for me, quite relaxing. I just put my phone away so I can just talk to the family.
What's been your highlight on our vacation?
My highlight has been sleeping. I've not done that much eating. I think I've behaved very well. I've had salad for the most part. Just spending time with the family, that's been the highlight for me. And I've not minded spending money. So they loved the part where I spent money. And I'm happy they're happy. How about that?
The highlight of my time and on this vacation has been shopping. We went, my girls and I, we took daddy's
like
car.
Like mother, like daughters, or like daughters, like mother, or how do they say it?
All I know is we're women and we love shopping. There's only one man in this family, and so of course all the girls are gonna be alike. We love shopping. There's no girl out there who does not love shopping. We went into the dressing rooms, we tried on the outfits, we were doing our thing, and It was great. I'm going to be doing it, honey. So you
Gracie?
tell us more about.
Gracie, good seeing you, Gracie.
Yes, I already mentioned Gracie. And I already mentioned Margarita. Those are the only two people it's showing me. Okay. Some people, they're watching, but if they don't say anything, then we're not going to know that they're watching, really.
Okay, so if you're watching live with us, say something. We're just kind of waiting for people to join in. Today, I'll be talking about how I enrich my wife, how I add value to my wife. That's the topic today. So we just want to allow a few more people to log on, join in.
Emmanuel boy is watching.
Okay. So
Stephen Akintaya.
Oh, Pastor Stephen, how you doing? All right, so
Pastor Emmanuel in Nigeria says, "Nice swag family." Thank you so much. Thank you for watching.
They make me look good. Trust me, I'm just a local Ibadan boy, but my wife.
You're getting swag.
I'm trying, but I think we're 5 minutes. We're 5 minutes into the show.
Steven says he's waiting. He wants this topic. He wants to know how you enrich me as my husband.
Okay. So, please, if you're watching, would like for you to say something, just so we know you're out there.
And ask us questions.
Say hello when we start talking. Ask questions. We've gotten a few feedback. There was somebody that requested us to do a topic. I was reading his comment. He sent me a private message yesterday. So if there's something...
Finances. He wanted us to talk about finances. So we're going to do a show on how we handle our finances. That's going to be another show. But today my husband is going to talk about, and I'll talk about it as well, how he enriches me as his wife. Because it is so important for us to know as spouses how to enrich one another. So today we're going to speak about how husbands can enrich their wives. Can you see me smiling? I'm always happy. It means someone is making me happy at home. So we're going to talk about that.
All right. So let's get into it. For me, I think it all begins with a man that is confident in who he is. It's very important that for us as guys, whoever you are, whatever God has made you, you have to be confident in that. You have to be sure of who you are in Christ Jesus. By the grace of God, I'm happy with who I am. So the first thing I decided I was going to do in this marriage, anybody looking at my wife and I, one quick look, you see the difference. It's like night and day. She's this very vibrant, she's out there.
A lot of juice. A
lot of energy. But I'm the
calm,
conservative type, yes, reserved.
Doesn't talk much.
But so there's a tendency for somebody like myself to want to say, be quiet, you talk too much, you're doing too much, don't do that, don't do this. No. The number one thing I believe I do to enrich my wife is I let her be herself.
Yes.
I let her be herself. I don't try to contain her. I don't try to minimize her. I don't try to reduce her. I let her express herself. That's number one. Number two, my wife is very, very, very much ministry minded. As a pastor, because of her ministry mindedness, there's a tendency for some people to feel intimidated. But the truth is, for me, whatever she does at the end of the day, that's still my wife. And she's... It goes both ways, sweetheart.
Yeah.
It goes both ways. I have allowed you, and you understand your limits.
Yes.
You understand how far you can go. And whenever she's, there's tendency to go too far, really. When she's going too far, I pull her back. I said, no,
Yes.
you don't do that.
Yes.
You went too far out there, So that's a couple of things I like to say to get started.
Right.
I'll let you pick it up from there.
So it's important that, because I know that my husband is very quiet, I always examine and re-examine, because he's not speaking does not mean he is pleased. So sometimes my husband will be quiet, so I have to be sensitive to know that, am I overdoing it? And if I'm overdoing it, then I'm able to correct myself and know that I have to submit myself enough to be corrected. I can be as anointed as whatever, like I'm anointed, I'm this and that, but I try my very best to keep in mind that I am still under the leadership of my husband. So no matter how much like they're inviting me to go minister somewhere or come and speak in different locations, I always try my best to share that information with my husband and run it by him. So wherever he says I cannot go, I cannot go. And right, honey, like if you tell me that I'm not. Although you've not really ever said I can't go anywhere. I mean, you pretty much. You trust me and know that I have the Spirit of the Lord.
No. I have. But I think the only time I have said you couldn't go to a place was more on security concerns.
Oh yeah.
Well, security concern, and then for a long time there was a particular country you were supposed to go that I said no, the time is not right yet.
Which country was that?
Ghana.
Oh, okay.
It took a while before you eventually went, So it's so another thing that I'd like to talk about is whatever it is, the vision that God has given my wife. When she shares with me, at least I can't remember any vision she has shared with me that I have not been supportive of. When she shares a vision with me that, honey, I believe this is what God wants me to do, and what she shares with me, I don't have any reservation in my spirit. I go all the way. I go all out, financially, prayerfully, physically. When there's work that needs to be done, physical work that needs to be done, I'm going to do it with her. So her success is my success. That's the way I look at it. Her success does not make me any less of who I am. Her success is my success. So whatever I can do to make you successful, right, is what I'm going to do.
Right.
And in the marriage vows, isn't that what we say? For better, for worse, for richer, for poorer, in health and sickness, and all of these things that we say that seems like people forget, right, after they get married.
And honey, I think that the problem that might be on the table of a lot of married folks is for a woman who is into, I don't want to just limit it to ministry, because it's not all of our audience that are pastors.
Right.
But let's say the wife is a little bit more feisty than the husband. Like, even in the secular world, like maybe maybe she's a CEO or she's a bank manager or whatever have you. How should the husband manage that situation without making her feel like he's limiting her?
Okay, so I think the first and foremost thing to establish here between the husband and the wife is we have to clearly have an understanding of what our roles are in the marriage.
Okay.
I think we talked about this the last time. In the marriage relationship, as far as God is concerned, God is a great God.
Right.
You know, so the same capacity largely that God has placed in the man, he has placed in the woman as well. So the reason the woman is submitting to the man is not because the woman is not able. You know, I was raised by a single parent. I was raised by my mom. My dad died when I was 10. You know, so my mom was my dad and my mom. Okay, so it's important that both husband and wife understand what their roles are. The husband is the head of the family and the protector of the family. The husband ought to bring the best out of everybody. He's the teacher, he's the priest, he's the everything, the head, you know. And the job of the man, my job from my perspective, is to bring out the best in all of my family, my wife, my children, you know. So if the wife, for example, is this big shot at work, you know, it is the job and the duty of her husband to make sure she succeeds in that. If she's succeeding, he's succeeding. There's no way they will talk about her. They will not say, oh, and this is her husband, or this is whatever, you know. And the same is true. If the husband is succeeding, doing very well, if they're going to talk about the wife, say, oh, this is his wife, you know. So there's a relationship between the two already, that the success of one should not limit the other, you know. But at the same time, when the woman, knowing as the wife, the call of God upon her life is for her to submit to her own husband. So when she gets home, she's not the CEO at home. She's a wife, she's a mother, you know. So roles changes.
Right. So going back to you and how you particularly enrich me, there's this thing in our home where it seems like you, as the husband, put yourself last. So anytime I feel like I need something, or I'm you know, trying to raise funds for a particular thing, you take it upon yourself to tell us a little bit about that.
Okay, so I believe very strongly in servant leadership. It's really the way I am in every area of my life. That's how I love to operate. You know, there's a song we used to sing when we were in elementary school. Joy, Joy, this is what it means. Jesus first, yourself last, and others in between. You know, so the J is for Jesus, the O is for others, and the Y is yourself. So you put yourself last. And I think because I believe, because of that, I've earned your respect. So if I say no, you know it's not because my husband hates me, because he will always do whatever it takes to ensure that I get this thing. You know, there's a lot of things that create insecurities in relationships. You know, if the wife is always anxious about her husband's move, then she's not going to trust him. You know, when the man is trying to lead, she's going to doubt every step, every action, everything. You know, but when as a man, your love for your spouse is undoubtedly true, you know, because the command for the man is, husbands, love your wives, even as Christ loves the church. You know, so when the woman is confident of her husband's love, you know, and his actions are not misinterpreted, I think that goes a long way. You know, so that's why I put, if there's a need, you need to get something done, I'm seeking to help you accomplish that, you know, before I worry about myself.
Right. So we've talked about you enriching me as far as the things that I do, my passion. We've talked about you enriching me financially. What are some other ways that you can tell our viewers that you enrich me? Because there are other aspects of marriage. One part that I would like for you to talk about, I know that you're not really the type that likes to talk about that area very much, and I'm more versatile with that, and I will do that.
Okay,
next week.
let me talk about it. Let me talk about it. So,
really, the part that I want you to talk about is when we first got married and
that's
how you were.
I know that's what you. She's always going back to that.
Well, it's because it's very important for people to know that those things, because a lot of people feel like it's not holy. Because we need to talk about it. Let's talk about it.
Okay, I knew exactly where she was going.
And I like talking about this part. It's my favorite part. Completely my favorite part.
You know, so for me, I can speak for me. The way I grew up in Nigeria, proudly Nigerian, Yoruba man. You know,
you like saying that
because I'm proud of my heritage.
Yes.
You know, and my heritage is not in Christ. You know, but that's how I was raised.
Yes.
You know, so the way I grew up, you know, I didn't grow up to be expressive in love. You know, you don't hug, hold hands.
That was back in the day. I've changed him a lot.
You know, so I never could hold hands walking down the street with my wife.
And whenever I held his hand, he would find a way to yawn and remove his hand. I'm like, bro, we are in this for life. You're going to have to learn how to do this. But honey, get to the part where you're talking, I really want you to get to.
We call it PDA now, public display of affection. So I didn't do much of public display of affection. But over time in our marriage, I saw how important it was to my wife.
Because I grew up in this culture. I grew up in an American culture. So I'm used to public display of affection. So he had to...
You know, so when I saw how much it meant to her, I began to move the needle gradually, slowly in her favor. You know, so much so now, and even back then, you know, growing up, I love you meant you are toasting some chick to fall for you. You know, it wasn't something you meant. Well, it wasn't something I meant. You know, growing up.
Back in the
you know, so now that I'm married, you know, I mean, my wife will be like, you didn't tell me you love me. I said, how many times do I want to tell you I love you? If I didn't love you, will I marry you? I married you because I love you.
I need to hear it over and over again.
You know, so she'll say, but you need to say it. You need to say it to reassure me, to reaffirm. I said, I don't know which reassurance, unless I kill myself for you now. Is
Just
that what
say
you
it.
want?
Just say, I love you, honey. I love. So now,
But
how
now,
is it?
I am such a pro, you know. I tell her I love her more than she tells me she loves me.
Yeah.
You know,
he's over the top now.
Because I see that it feeds into her love language.
Yeah.
You know,
it fills my love tank.
It fills her love tank, one. And two, she feels valued when I tell her, I love you. You look beautiful.
You're still working on that one, honey.
Babe, I don't say it as much as you want, but I do say it. You know, I wake up in the morning, I'm like, man, how does somebody wake up looking beautiful like this?
You do that.
All right.
That's true.
You know, so
you do that. That's absolutely
for
true.
this Ibadan boy.
It's a long way.
Hey.
Okay, well that's good. Well, that's not the part that I was wanting you to talk about.
That one is for private audience. It's
No,
not
it's
on
not.
the World Wide Web.
Yes, it is.
For me, it is.
Sweetheart, people need to know that that part is also part of marriage. Anyway, we have to talk about it. So if you can't, I'm going to tell you guys.
No, time is up.
No!
This is 20 minutes. 20 minutes.
Wait, honey, it's not a big
We
deal.
got to check out of the hotel too. They gave us extension to 12:30.
Sweetheart, let me just quickly tell them a little bit.
In one sentence.
Okay. In the beginning, my husband realized that in order for him to be able to meet my needs in the bedroom as a wife, he needed to, so it seemed like it was something that was very difficult. So what he did was he prayed about it.
It was a prayer point.
Yes, he prayed about it. He was like, Lord, if you've given me such a wife then it's very important for me to be able to please her. And so he would pray about it, and he prayed about it and prayed about it. And what did the Lord do for you, honey?
The Lord enabled me and empowered me.
You know, it's really important because, honey, I know that you don't, that's something, but that's going to be a part of this show. We're going to have to, because a lot of people, I think that the topic of sex is something that is breaking a lot of homes, and a lot of people, they just don't know how to relate because the church is not willing to teach them about those things, you know. And so with my help, my husband is going to be able to, in the future, we'll be able to talk to you about these things. And I feel one of the best ways, and I address it a lot in Singles and the Married, our page, Singles and the Married, sex life in a marriage. And we'll be able to handle it in the future. But that is another way to enrich your wife. It is so important to enrich your wife in the bedroom. That is so important, and vice versa. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes, I do agree. I do agree. And because of that, many marriages have suffered and divorced in some cases.
Yeah.
You know, because one partner is not satisfied. But seriously now, we really have to go now. We requested extension to check out, and as children of God, we have to maintain integrity.
Yes.
So it's been nice having you on the show today. We're going to sign off now. Thank you very much for joining us. Please share the videos.
Yes.
Share the videos. You can go back and play it back if you have questions. Post your questions. Like it, love it, wow it, whatever, you know, also, and let others know about it. We got to go, baby.
Right.
We got to go.
Also, if you don't want to ask a question publicly, you can
send
inbox.
Private. Yes. God bless you. Take care now.